Cindy Stumpo has been building houses and shattering stereotypes.
Big stuff, big problem. I get eyes all around my head. I'm not going to miss a trick. You have to love this business all the time.
Cindy Stumpo is tough as nails.
Welcome to this week's show on WBZ News Radio 1030 with Cindy Stumpo, tough as nails. So we're here today to speak about good, responsible, reliable contractors. That's a biggie. Again, good, responsible, reliable contractors. So in my studio today we have two guests.
Oh, she already forgot about me.
Oh, and of course my rock star daughter, Samantha Stumpo, is with us today.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, honey. So if you'd like to introduce, maybe you should be doing the introduction today. Would you like to introduce our guest?
No, that's your job. You can.
Oh, yeah, everything's my job. Okay. So actually, we have in the studio with us another builder. So I have a friendly...
He's not just a builder, though. You've known him...
I've
He's known me my whole life.
I've known Jerry forever. I mean, I don't...
So who's Jerry for everyone to
Oh,
know?
okay. So we're talking. Let me do a formal introduction. So I'm here with another builder. His name is Jerry Rubin. Jerry and I have been building out. Jerry probably has 5 years more than me in the field. He's been around for 35 years. I've been around for 30. So together we've got 65 years of experience. Jerry, can you say hello to my audience?
Hello, everybody. Jerry Rubin, Elite Installations.
Okay, so Jerry Rubin is Elite Installations.
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of a crazy name for Jerry, but okay, we'll let it pass.
Leave it to Mom to insult your name.
Elite Installations. I like that, actually. Okay, and then here we have George. George, can you say hi to the audience and introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm George Clement. I'm an assistant principal at Minuteman Tech in Lexington, and it's my job to train the next generation of good, responsible, and reliable tradespeople.
Basically, what I'm seeing out here right now is just responsible, reliable, good contractors, subcontractors, women, men. I'm having trouble getting good people. Are you having the same problem out here?
Yes, there's a shortage.
Okay, so you agree that we have a shortage out there?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you see this shortage of people getting better or still getting worse?
It's absolutely going the other direction. It's getting worse.
Okay. So we're both having the same problem. So again, you've been building for 35 years. I've been building for 30 years. And we're looking at a pretty much a cesspool of guys or women that are coming up in our business that don't want to work. They don't want to show up to work on time. And the funny part about some of these subcontractors, if you notice, they're chasing us for work. Give me your work, give me your work, give me your work. All right, buddy, I'll try you. And then you let me down. Are you finding that?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
So cite me an example of what happens. How do you handle that? Because I'm out here having a nervous breakdown.
Well, I come down on this. If I have to do it myself or if I have to do it, I don't need them. And I'll never let the customer down, so I'll just jump in and take care of it if I have to, just like you. But there is a shortage, and I have downscaled because of that.
Jerry, do you remember back 30 years ago working with me out there and, you used to laugh at me and say, why are you cleaning your own houses, right?
Yeah, we'd be in the house at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and you'd be cleaning the own house and everything else. You'd be sitting on the stairs, wiping down the spindles, looking at every little detail. Yes.
Yeah, why would I be doing that? Why do you think I was doing that back in my 20s?
Because when we do the cleaning, you do the cleaning, you get to see everything, and you can fix it right then and there if there's a problem.
Right. And here's the difference between me and most builders. I can physically fix the problem.
Correct.
See, everybody thinks that Cindy Stumpo is just a finger pusher. Nobody realizes that when I started off in this business and started this company, I was the laborer. I was the owner of this company, but I was the laborer. I was laboring, George. I was laboring, Jerry. I was there with the brooms and the cloths and the hammers and everything. And my belt was packed, but with Windex and everything else. I mean, I didn't care that I was a laborer. I give me the whole house. I didn't care. I was like Hercules in there. But now, they don't even want to labor. I can't get laborers. Then I get kids telling me they want to make $25 an hour laboring. I had a kid the other day. He couldn't care.
You make me labor all the time.
Sammy, you've been laboring since 15.
I have an ad right now. Learn a trade while getting paid. One response in 3 weeks. One response.
Imagine that. It's crazy. I had a kid up here the other day. I'm like, buddy, your job today is you're going to hump blue board. You would have thought I said the aliens just flew down from Mars. What do you mean I hump blue board? I don't understand. I'm like, oh my God, this kid doesn't think he's taking it as a sexual. No, you're gonna carry blue board. I'm using words that we've used our whole life in this career. You're gonna hump blue board. The kid looks at me like, I'm gonna hump a blue board. No, you're gonna, buddy, grab the other end. He's holding one piece. Now again, my sheets are 12 footers, right?
Yep.
So he's wobbling and wiggling, and I have another guy on his end and one guy on the other end.
3?
Yeah, because he couldn't get the hold of the one blue board. It was doing the whole wave on him. And now my real guy that can carry the blue board, he's back in it. They're shoving him into walls. It was a nightmare. Anyways, the kid dropped the blue board and said, I quit. I went, okay, you quit. Jerry, if that was you, you would have been doing what?
Seeing how many I could carry.
And he was 23.
Yeah, I wanted to always see how many I could carry. Put another one on there. Put another one on there. It wasn't the smartest thing in the world, but yeah, I wanted to see how many I could carry.
Okay, so there's a difference. We had tenacity out there. So, it's just crazy that we're having all this trouble out there finding good help. And this is why I want you to come into the studio, and I wanted for you to tell some of your stories. And that's why we have George here, because George is the professor teaching these next kids from Minuteman how to go out there and be responsible, reliable, good contractors. And when we talk about good, responsible, reliable, that's the big word. You know what? I would rather take a guy or a girl that has less knowledge, but they're responsible and reliable, and I will turn them into a stud.
All day.
Okay? All day. Don't give me the guy that's great at what he does, but can't show up to work till 10 o'clock. I'd rather build, because if you've got that responsible, reliable person, then you
have a base.
Half the battle.
You have foundation, yeah.
There you go. So, Jerry, I've been laying in bed, I've been thinking about this over and over and over again. And I feel like the shortage that we have come down to is because our parents educated us. They were not educated. Their parents might not have been educated. And everybody wanted their kids to go to college. The problem is college is great and wonderful, but not for everybody. And I think we as parents have to figure out who our kids are and get over the stigma of being my son, the plumber, my son, the HVAC guy, my daughter, the electrician. Let's promote these kids to what they're the best at. What is the sense of sending my kid to school for 4 years when he or she's going to come out and know $150,000 and have no trade behind it? Nothing behind that degree. That degree is wonderful, but how about get the degree and maybe take some plumbing courses or electrical courses or construction management courses or something along with that college degree. And that is why we have George here from Minuteman. And George is going to maybe give you and I and a lot of our listeners some advice on how to handle our businesses. So we're going to be back with George, and we're going to take a break. And welcome back with Cindy Stumpo at WBZ News Radio 1030. We're here to talk about good, responsible, reliable contractors. And we're here with, let's see, drum roll. We are here with Jerry Rubin, and we are here with George Clement from Minuteman Trade School. And Jerry Rubin, where's he from again?
Framingham originally.
Framingham? You sure he's from Framingham? Jerry, are you from Framingham?
I'm from Framingham.
Oh yeah, that's where he's from.
He's like, what, my third dad?
Yeah, he's like your third dad.
Yeah.
We let those Rubins, Framingham Rubins, kind of come into the Stumpo world.
For those of you who don't know, Jerry has been a builder just as long as Mom. He does more reno work than
Jerry's a reno guy. Jerry's a tough reno guy. Jerry's a good guy. He's
Great
honorable.
Guy.
He's honest. He's there. He's actually what we call good, responsible, reliable contractor. If we had every guy like Jerry out there, life would be great. Jerry, can you make like 20 of you? No, seriously. So anyways, we're here to introduce George. Hey, George, how are you? And welcome to the show today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
I love having you. George, please, for the love of God, please tell me how you can teach Jerry and I how to what, Sammy?
They want to be saved.
We want to be saved out here. I need to be saved, George. I need to know, in your opinion, what is going on out here in the field with not having good labor force behind us. This is bad, George.
Yeah, well, part of what you're talking about, you're experiencing what economists are calling the silver tsunami. And so what that is the baby boomer generation. Anybody born between 1946 and 64, they're starting to retire. And that was a group that had a lot of skills. So what they've created is a skills
Wait,
gap.
hold on. So from 46 to 64, and I was born in 64. So at the end of 64,
So
I'm
you
sorry.
you qualify as a baby boomer because you have all the skills that we're talking about.
Okay.
But the generations coming up behind don't. And I think you talked about it in the previous segment where baby boomers really got the message from the greatest generation to say, go to college to better yourself. A lot of people in the baby boomer generation also got the message, go to college. It was probably a better alternative than Vietnam. So that message has gotten across loud and clear, and it's been passed down to Generation X, and it's been passed down to the millennials. And now what you have is 2 generations or so that have no idea about anything electrical, plumbing, carpentry, welding. All of those skills are gone. They remain with just that percentage of baby boomers that have it, and they're starting to retire. So that's what they have. No one to train because no one's coming up the pipeline, or very few. And so that's what you're experiencing right now.
So George, what is Minuteman? What do you see? Please explain to my audience what Minuteman is, because maybe a lot of people have never heard of Minuteman.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you just explain, please?
We're a career and technical high school. We're located in Lexington. We serve 10 different towns in our district that work together, and we provide vocational training. So we have 15 different programs that we offer. So we have a lot of the traditional ones that we're pretty much focusing on today, like plumbing, electrical, carpentry, welding, automotive. And then we have some next generation ones like robotics and engineering and biotechnology, environmental science. And
Okay,
then a few
and not to cut you short, George, but what type of kids are coming to the school?
We got the greatest kids.
Really?
Yeah, we got the greatest kids. We got kids who even at the age of 14 have some kind of passion, something that they know about themselves, and they come forward to, because I interview them all before they come in, and they talk about, what, I'm just really good with my hands, and I just, I love doing things with wood. I'm already doing it in the garage, and I just want to take it to the next level. I know my local high school is really, really good, and believe me, where Minuteman is, all of our partner districts have some of the top high schools in the state.
In Lexington.
In Lexington, Concord, Dover.
Right.
These are really high-end schools. But these kids look and they say, what, that's great for someone else. I want to come to Minuteman because I want to
and George,
pursue my passions.
And these parents promote these kids.
Not always.
Not always.
Not always. I think you touched upon it a little bit too in the last segment, where there's still a very strong stigma against against coming to a school like ours. I've had parents say, "That's great that you've accepted, but you need to understand that my kid's never coming to your school." I've had people, take a flyer from my hand, and as soon as they see it's Minuteman, drop it, right in front of me. So no,
right, but
not for me.
But George, the parents are not going to live in this kid's boots one day or shoes.
Right.
And parents, we're here to guide our kids. But if we see that our kid, what about the kid that's an artist? Do you push him down and don't let him do art because artists don't make a lot of money until they're dead one day? Okay, that's when they become famous. And some will make money along the way. But aren't we suffocating and pushing them down from, why are we doing that as parents? This doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
Because of our own egos?
Sure, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of status in going to college, and I think a lot of people feel like, well, as long as he goes to a great college, I've done my job as a parent, and that's great. I think the hardest part of what I do is really talking to parents and trying to get them to understand. When you're in here in my office complaining that your kid, all he wants to do is be in the garage, and he's always tinkering with a car, and he's always got motor parts, he's got parts everywhere. Why would you suppress that? Let's take that and let's take it to the next level. That's how you build expertise. Trust me, this little tinkering that's happening at 12, 13, 14, and 30 years from now, This kid's going to be the man.
And excuse me, George, I see Jerry shaking his head on what you're saying. Jerry, do you want to add something to that? Because I see you agreeing, shaking your head.
Well, that's our job as parents. We're supposed to look at what they're really good at and help them in that direction.
Well, and Jerry, look at, you have how many children?
5.
5. Who has 5 kids? Like, you have to be, like, the best, like, they are. They're wonderful people, the Rubins. Andrea, his wife, and Jerry. But in between the 5 kids, Jerry, just tell your story real fast. They had a child.
With special needs.
With special needs.
Yeah.
And then after that, had 2 more kids. That's just a different human being. But everybody thinks your school is for kids with special needs. And that's not true.
Not
there
at all.
are schools that Jerry's son does that has special needs. We're talking about kids that just might not be, here's how I see it, George. I want kids to be educated. We want to educate our children. I'm not ever saying don't send your kids to college. What I'm saying is, if you know that one child of yours just is not that college material, don't be such an egomaniac. See, I think we're seeing a bunch of parents that want to so self-promote their children. My son's doing this, and my daughter's doing this, and my kid. How about this? My kid's crushing it as a plumber, okay? And let me tell you, I'm so proud of him. And you know what? I'm also proud of my other son that's pumping gas for a living. And I'm also proud of my daughter that's graduating Harvard University and becoming a doctor. Because what we're looking for is good, responsible, reliable people out here.
Yeah, in the next segment, I'm definitely going to be able to blow your mind on what kinds of kids we work with and what they can achieve when they work with us. Absolutely.
Coming up next on WBZ. And welcome back to WBZ News Radio 1030 with Cindy Stumpo. And we're in the studio today with Jerry Rubin and George Clement.
And she already forgot about me just
and
because I'm sitting
again, I can't, it's that blonde hair. I don't know. I keep forgetting about my beautiful daughter in the studio. Hey, Sammy, what's going on, buddy?
So we actually have a caller on the line. Ed, are you there?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Ed, Cindy Stumpo. And we're sitting here with Jerry Rubin and George Clement. And what can I help you with, or who would you like to talk to?
I really appreciate the topic that you guys are covering today, and I've got to add my 2 cents in there in support of, what George and Jerry have been talking about, and the idea that vocational technical education is only for those kids is something we've got to get rid of. All kids could benefit from this kind of an education, and I think more and more families are starting to talk about it, which is great. You folks talking about it is great, but I'm really committed. As a superintendent myself, I've seen the value of this kind of an education for kids who may or may not have excelled in a regular classroom. And when you look at a regular classroom, a kid sitting in a desk, looking at a teacher, looking at a PowerPoint presentation, most kids don't learn just that way. They have to be engaged in their learning, and what George and Jerry are talking about is spot on, Cindy.
I agree. And look at it. I was a C student in high school, okay? I wasn't breaking those A's, trust me.
Me too.
And neither were you, Sammy, right?
I definitely had attention issues and problems in high school. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
my guidance counselor told me to sign up for the Army, which was a great occupation, but at the time, we were involved in another country, and he just wanted me out of the school.
Here's my question, Ed. You've been a superintendent. You understand this conversation probably better than most, but isn't what we're talking about here a lot of common sense that parents of my age, I'm 53, I have a 24-year-old and a 30-year-old. I'm a little young for the 30-year-old maybe. I'm right on target probably for the 24-year-old. Isn't it common sense as parents that we need to know who our children are? And just think, if we have no good, responsible, reliable subcontractors coming up. Hey, here's a question, Ed. Let's take one area that I know that we're failing out here, and we're having a problem finding good plumbers. Mm-hmm. What do you think a good plumber in 5 years from today, 5 lousy years from today, is going to be pushing an hour? And I'm going to answer the question, even though I'm asking you the question, because I'm going to tell you.
Well into the six figures. Our kids coming out of the plumbing programs that I see and read about, within 4 to 5 years of just getting their license, they're making well over $100,000.
Okay, and that's what you know of. Now, let me tell you as a business owner, okay? Mm-hmm. If that plumber right now, because they're like, that's like my massive problem in my company right now. I will pay a good guy that is responsible, reliable, and he's good. And you know what? He doesn't have to be great because I'll make him great. The difference is I know the work and I can watch him perform and I can step him up. But if he's responsible and reliable, I'm halfway there. But it's about what I would pay to have a good guy. Let me tell you, there's not a number. How's that? That's where we are now in the business. It used to be about getting not the best, like Jerry said earlier, it's not about the lowest bid, the highest bid. It's about the proper bid, okay? Mm-hmm. Right now as builders, we're not looking at proper bids anymore. We're looking for good people. It's like the bidding has become second behind the good guy. We're all going to be over budget here. If you care about the product you're delivering, you're not going to bring it in on budget because you're picking guys that are good out there. And the pickings are slim, very slim, Ed.
Very slim.
So, you explain to my audience, how do I explain this in terms that I think that the parents are going down a more ego trip and not being reality? There's no reality here.
Let me respond to your original comment there was how do we talk to parents about knowing who their kids are? And as a parent myself and now a grandparent, I really believe that we have to listen to our kids in a different way. We have to listen to them through the lens of what the world of work is really about today. Most of the jobs being created do not require a bachelor's degree at all, let alone a bachelor's degree from an elite institution. And we're fortunate enough to have some great institutions in Massachusetts. But I tell my parents when they come and talk to us, ask your child a very simple question. What do you love to do and what do you do well? And I think parents need to listen to that. And then if they've got decent guidance counselors in their school systems who are going to listen to the kids as well, we can offer parents occupational opportunities for their kids that the parents may not have previously considered, much like the plumber that you're talking about, or the welding students that are making $60,000, $70,000 a year right out of a program like the one that George is talking about.
Well, Ed, let me ask you this question. Are your students that you've seen, I'm going to ask this to George from Minuteman, do a lot of them go off to college and get other degrees besides just plumbing, electrical?
Yeah, 66% of our kids do go on to college.
And so now they've got a business degree and a trade degree. Ed, does it get any better than that? Because now the guy is a plumber, now the guy's an electrician, but he's learned business too. Now he can open up his own company eventually and start his own business and employ other people and give them work. So
those entrepreneurial skills ought to be foundational for every kid in high school.
I agree.
Let them get a chance to see a small business in operation, see a successful contractor like yourself and Jerry. Let parents see the kind of work you do, and let parents see the paychecks you guys put out every week to highly qualified people.
And it's big money. I see Jerry shaking.
I'm making a face because coming back to good, responsible, reliable, I'm going to compare it to 10-minute abs. Everyone thinks you're going to get a six-pack in 10 minutes. And what's going on is we're getting 6-month contractors. And these kids are coming out and they're not learning the basics. So it's rippling down so that the quality of their work is substandard. They're not learning that they have to get down on their hands and knees and sweep, or just sweep a job site or clean up after themselves. And they're thinking they're going to come out making 6 figures right out of school. And that's where we're running into a big problem.
Okay, and these guys and these laborers that you're talking about, they're coming out of colleges like Mass Bay and UMass, whatever.
They already think they know.
Okay.
That's the problem.
You know,
if I opened my mouth up to one of the guys that were teaching me, the old timers, I'd have a hammer come across the room and hit me in the head.
Or I would have shot you with a nail gun.
They no issues. Today,
the crazy stuff we did out there.
Oh my God!
It happened a couple weeks ago.
I'm afraid to ask what I do.
We had a laborer on the job, and he opened his mouth to the client, and you looked at him like you have no right to be saying anything right now. How are you going to tell me which way the door's going to swing?
Oh yeah, I did. Ed, I had a situation out there. I'll keep you online with us because you're really adding a lot here. So even though you're not in the studio, but George, Ed, I had a laborer standing over my back as I'm dealing with buyers that are buying a $7 million home from me, and I'm like, he was stressing me out, standing behind me. So I'm like, dude, what, why are you standing behind me? You know what his answer was? I want to learn how you handle customers. I want to understand how you're swinging this door. And I got to tell you something, Ed. He's new on the game. I mean, he's been with me for 2 weeks. I literally said, very nicely in front of the client, what I really wanted to say was, kid, get off my back, go to work, okay? And this is not the right time to be standing here on my back. But he didn't even have the common sense to say, hold on, I'm not going near my boss right now. She's dealing with clients, on a massive home, and I'm standing on her back. It was so uncomfortable. And
those are professional skills. Those are soft skills that kids just don't learn in a regular traditional high school, and they're not getting taught in a post-secondary institution. And the kind of school that George represents, those soft skills, those employability skills, those professional skills are something that's ingrained from the time they're 14 years old and walk across.
Ed, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate so much you calling in. George, I'm sure. George, Jerry, are you learning anything here?
He's been great. He's been great. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you very much, Ed.
And we'll be back. And welcome back to WBZ News Radio 1030 with Cindy Stumpo. We're sitting here speaking about good, responsible, reliable contractors. I'm here in the studio with George Clement from Minuteman and Jerry Rubin. And Jerry Rubin's, obviously, we know is a builder and a longtime friend.
And I'm still chopped liver, and you still forgot about me.
And I keep forgetting about you today, Samantha.
Hi, Sam.
Thanks, Jerry.
And Samantha, my little rock star, that's actually crushing it out there this week. I got to tell you, Sam, it's been a great 2 weeks with you out here. But anyways.
Record that. She's never going to say that again.
Yeah, you get one compliment a month out of me, okay? I should have sent you to Minuteman, then off to college. See, I made a big mistake. I only wish I knew George.
We would have loved her.
Well, not in that sense, but also I think we as kids give ourselves pressure, and I think at that time I would have felt embarrassed not going to
Directly to college?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, there we go.
And neither you nor Dad ever pushed me to do anything. You said you would love me no matter what. The joke, I said I wanted to be a towel maker when I was like 5 years old, and they said, no matter what.
Yeah, she wanted to be a towel maker.
We'd support you no matter what you did, but I put that pressure on myself. And looking back, to be honest, I probably make more than most of my friends do now, and we all went to college.
Yeah. Okay. So here we are with the crew, and
I think we have a caller on the line, Tiago.
Yes.
Hey, Tiago, Cindy Stumpo. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Cindy. How's it going?
Good. We're sitting here with George, Jerry, Samantha.
How you doing, Tiago?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And Tiago, you're calling in, so obviously you're hearing the conversation we're having. So
I sure am. I want to add to that because I actually went to a vocational school in Framingham, Keith Tech.
Great.
Oh, Jerry's from Framingham.
Right, and I have my own company now. I started my own company, T Electrical Services. And looking back, when I was in middle school, I guess I didn't feel pressured, but it was almost a sense that everybody thought, if you're going to college, you have to go to high school, and you don't have to go to a vocational school or so on and so forth. We always heard that in between our friends. And for me to make my decision to go to a vocational school was something that took a lot of me, and I guess my parents as well, whatever they weighed in.
Well, Tiago, did your parents stand behind you on that choice?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
great. That's great. And how old are you?
I'm 30 now.
And you're 30 years old. And now you actually own your own electrical company, and you're employing other people to come to work.
I do. We have 4 people on board right now. With
Good for you.
5. So
good. And you're out there. I'm sure you're as busy as can be. And let me ask you a question, though. Are you responsible?
Absolutely.
Reliable?
You can't go in this business without being reliable or irresponsible. It's just.
And you're good at what you do.
Something that goes with it. So.
And you think you're good at what you do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're seeing that your competition's falling down in a lot of places, that they're not responsible, they're not reliable, and they're not so great because they're not. Actually, they could be really great, but they're not responsible and reliable. So that's that's a problem.
True. I mean, that's another thing too. I mean, when we start in a vocational school, you almost get the basics off of the actual questions that you don't feel comfortable asking about material names and so on and so forth. So that kind of breaks the ice for you. It sets the foundation for you to really go on. And with the vocational school, correct me if I'm wrong, from Minuteman, I think they have the co-op program, which is what I did on my last year. So that was amazing too. So
you got to go out and where you went to school and co-op and make money and actually go to high school. Or
correct.
You have to work
when I was
for free.
in high school, I was making money.
Yeah.
That's a core component of our program. The caller before, Ed, talked about professional skills, and that's a great way for kids to learn their professional skills because they go out on the job site, and that's one of the first things they learn, how to be good, responsible, and reliable. Show up. Get there on time. How do you give and receive feedback? How do you work as part of a team? What do you do when the plan changes and it doesn't go according to plan? How do you handle that
appropriately? All that.
So they learn all that through the co-op experience.
Well, I got to tell you something, buddy. I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you have the confidence and not be insecure to go chase your dreams, not go with the masses, and just keep crushing it out there, buddy. And I'd love for you to call me. I'd love to use you. You good at bidding?
Oh boy, you gotta be out there. That's for sure.
That's for sure is right.
You guys that. Has it been hard finding electricians up there? I'm sure it is.
Electricians seem to be a little bit more responsible. The ones I have around me, but we're always open for more guys. And I love young guys that are good, responsible, reliable, that I can count on, that can grow with the company and grow with my daughter as the next generation of Stumpo grows. And I'm sure Jerry Rubin could absolutely, use your services. So please leave your number that we can reach you with the producer. I like your tenacity, buddy.
You got it. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Just don't try to pick up my daughter. She's 30.
Okay.
Have a good one there, buddy.
Take it easy. You too.
Bye-bye. Hey, I can't have guys hitting on my daughter. I mean, it's getting really bad.
You're absolutely correct.
All right? She's little Samantha. I mean, it's like,
that's right.
Guys your age hitting on my daughter. I'm like, really, dudes? Like, that's my daughter. Try it again. I'm going to give you a backhand.
I'm a little envious of him.
Envious of who?
That he had a direction, knew what he wanted at that age, and I wish I figured it out earlier.
We all have to grow at our own time, and Sammy, where you are in your life right now, you should be very proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you have figured it out at around 26. You are now 30. You've been crushing it out there for 4 years. You were still going through your growth spurts. I mean, you're out there partying, hanging, doing, running. You were doing what every normal 21, 22, 23-year-old girl. Unfortunately, I got married at 20, so I wasn't the norm. But she was doing the norm. I just wasn't.
But everything you've done brought you where you are right now. So it's good.
I think what she's saying is...
I know what she's saying.
She might have had a 10-year jump if she had been more focused like this kid.
We like to say we give kids a competitive advantage because when they come to us, they go through that career exploration, and then they choose a program that they really love and they feel passionate about. And then that makes, as they get older, around senior year, junior year, we start talking about where are you going next? If you're going to go to college, how does it connect to what you've already learned so that you can take it to the next level? So you might have really done pretty well with us.
Yeah, we could have, but you know what? Woulda, shoulda, could have. But you are where you are right now, and you should be proud of yourself. And always be proud of your accomplishments. Okay? It might take you a little longer to get there, but you're there, and you're crushing it, and you're doing a great job out there. We have a next caller coming in?
I think she's a homeowner. I believe her name is Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Hi, Cindy. How are you?
Good. I'm sitting here with Jerry Rubin. I'm sitting here with George Clement. And I'm sitting here with the one and only beautiful Samantha Stumpo.
She didn't forget me this time. Yes.
Okay.
Hello, Samantha Stumpo. So, Cindy, I have a question for you, a few questions, actually. I am currently in the middle of a mess. with a contractor who is currently renovating my kitchen and my bathroom for the last 3 months on a project that should be done, and we're nowhere near done. And I'm just wondering if you could maybe give me a little help to see where I would take it next.
You don't mind if I ask you a couple questions, do you?
No.
Okay. One is, Jerry, let's say, I'm going to make a bet right now. My bet, my answer is going to be, her answer is going to be that she did this, okay? Jennifer,
yes.
Who pulled the permit on this kitchen? What'd you say, kitchen and bathroom?
Mm-hmm.
Who pulled the permit? Who went up to City Hall and pulled who pulled the permit on this job?
I'm afraid to tell you, but I did.
Oh.
Okay, Jerry.
But let me explain to you why.
Why?
The contractor told me it would be in my best interest as a homeowner to pull my own, that it would save me money in the end, and my budget wasn't huge. It was decent. But he said if I didn't want to overspend, that it would be better for me to pull my own
Amazing
permit.
how this goes down.
Jen, did you check to see if he had insurance?
That's going to be no too, because he didn't pull the building permit.
Yeah, but he's still...
Well, we were insured, and we were told...
You're not, no, so you're not insured. You are not insured. There's no home insurance that you're covered for by letting a subcontractor or builder come in and one of his guys gets hurt in your home. You're all sadly mistaken. They will sue you, and depending on how bad they get hurt, might own your home. So you cannot, people, please listen to me. You cannot let a painter come into your home without an insurance binder that has general liability and workman's comp. You can't do it. A guy falls off a ladder and he breaks his back. He's going to own your home. He's going to own your life. I'm sorry, Jen.
Well,
is he still there? Is he not showing up? What's going on? What's the current status? My heart goes out to you right now.
Well, the biggest problem that we seem to be facing is he shows up for 3 days, and we're so in the middle of it. We keep saying we're going to fire him if he doesn't come back, and he keeps telling us he's going to come back. And then
so Jerry, he's pulling one of those moves.
He
comes for 3 days, doesn't
days.
come for a week. She just said it. He's strong for a couple of days, then doesn't come back.
And then we wait for the electrician that we've never seen.
I don't mean to cut you short, but we only have so much time here.
Okay.
Jerry, you maybe could take her number down with the producer. She can leave a number with the producer.
Absolutely.
Try to go by there, see the completion of value, see if you can help her.
Okay, well, I really, really appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much.
Thank you, Cindy. Your show's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye-bye.
And we'll be back after this.
Well, she's a woman of the world, and God, she knows it. She turns my head every time she shows it. Yeah.
I gotta tell you something. This was a great episode. It was about good, responsible, reliable contractors. The guest in my studio right now, Jerry, I can't thank you enough for coming in from Elite. You're awesome.
It's my pleasure.
Buddy. You've been doing business a long time. We've been friends a long time. George, pleasure was absolutely all mine getting to meet you, learning about Minuteman Tech in Lexington. I can't thank you enough for bringing, some stigma and bringing it to the front line, like I bring my panic and anxiety attacks, kind of the same thing, to the front line for my listeners to listen to. Samantha Stumpo of Newbrook Realty. Anybody call if you get a house for sale, want to buy a house, give her a call. She's great at what she does.
You went from ignoring me to promoting me.
I'm telling you, I'm all over the place tonight. But with that being said, I would just like to thank the listeners, because without you guys out there listening, isn't it funny I always say guys? I never say people, girls,
no,
guys.
you say you people.
You people. You people. That's a North Shore thing. You people. But no, the listeners, that's who I want to thank. Thank you guys for sticking in here with me. I'm new at this, and I'm just feeling my way through it still, and one day I will get this down really good. It might take a couple more episodes. But with that being said, George, please give your website that people can reach out to you.
We are at www.minuteman.org.
Okay, Jerry?
It's timetorenovate.com. Elite Installations.
It's time to renovate. I like that one. Samantha Stumpo?
NewbrookRealtyGroup.com.
Okay. And
you have a website.
If you don't know who I am by now, we got a problem. If you can't find Cindy Stumpo by now, we got a problem.
We're gonna Google.
I'd like
you,
to
right?
think. Yeah, we're gonna Google me. We're gonna have a T-shirts. Google Cindy Stumpo. So everybody have a great weekend and see you next week on WBZ 1030 with Cindy Stumpo, tough as nails.